what's up? Mickey says hello. What's up, guys? Fears, audience, fears. So, how art is thou? Thouist is doing pretty damn good. Yesterday, I was not doing good. And I'll tell you why. So, I wake up from a nice slumber, a nice nappo. Everything's fine, everything's chill, everything's good. I had lunch, and I didn't have anything really hot and spicy for lunch. It was just a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, some chips, some cut up carrots and some cut up celery, and then some apple juice. So a pretty standard lunch, right? I eat it. I'm editing. About an hour or two later, shit hits the fan. And all of a sudden, the Crohn's takes over, right? The Crohn's takes over. My body shuts down. I race into the bathroom. And I did not get off the toilet from 3 o'clock in the afternoon all the way till 11 at night. I kept shitting my ass off. It was bad. When I finally did stop, I took a nap. And then when I woke up from my nap, it started all over again. So it was diarrhea and then some. It was, and I'm not trying to gross anyone out, that's just what happened. And I was like, there's no way. I said, I'm going to be running to the toilet every 5 minutes if I go to work. So whatever was in my body, it's flushed out now and I'm fine. I'm going into work tonight. But last night, I don't know what the hell was going on, but I flushed out some crazy shit, guys. Anyway, I feel much better today. So I didn't go to work last night, but I feel much better today. Things are going well. I hope you guys are having a great day. Let me open up the chat now, and I'm fine. There we are. We got 4 people watching. We got live chat. Oh, thank you so much for someone liking the chat, liking the stream already. Oh, thank you for liking it a second time. I appreciate that. Anyway, so let's get to the skinny mini of it. So today's topics, I've got some updates, but I'll tell you guys the topics. Today I'm going to be reviewing The Adventures of Ichaabod Crane. I rented it from the library. It's been a long time since I watched it, and I know I accidentally mistyped adventures. So after the stream, I will go back and fix that. So I'm going to review this. It's been a long time since I've watched it. And then I thought a good topic would be, what are the good points about Missouri and what are the bad points about Missouri? And then I may be opening up a can of worms here, but I thought I would talk about my old girlfriends. I thought that would be a good topic, because I don't think I've mentioned my old girlfriends, but I don't think I've talked about each one. So I will be nice and talk about each one, because I don't want any crazy shit to start. Each one of them are very nice people, but I'll be honest, I only keep in touch with one of them. All the others I lost touch with. But the one that I do keep in touch with, she's very nice, she's very sweet. It just didn't work out, unfortunately. But I wish her all the best of luck. Anyway, the chat's open, so if you guys want to chat, go nuts, go wild. Let's see here. Oh, thank you for liking the stream a third time. So anyway, let's get into the nitty-gritty of it. So I got a bunch of updates. As you guys all know, Fears I finally ordered my Indiana Jones hat. I got an email back from them about a day or two ago, and they said, we'll let you know when your order is prepared, and we're going to be shipping it out, because they said they take quite a long time on each person's order because they hand make the hats out of material and they put them all together. I hope to God I get it in time for the Dial of Destiny because I'm going to go watch it opening day, June 30th, which is one day before I go on my trip. My trip to Missouri starts on July 1st. I'm not going to tell you guys how many days I'm going for, but that's when it starts. Anyway, thank you so much for liking the stream a fourth time. I appreciate that. I appreciate all the likes. I appreciate all the fans. Anyway, so I've gotten one email, and they said the minute your order is ready, and the minute it's ready to ship, and we do ship it, we'll let you know. So I have been waiting pins and needles to get an email. I've been checking every day. I guess it's not ready yet, but they said when it's ready, they said we'll let you know. And I went, okay. So I'm hoping I get it by June 30th. Hey, what's up, Rebecca? How you been? Good to see you. Well, since Rebecca's here, that means Visions is going to be here quite soon. Because I think Rebecca and Visions, whoop! Actually, I don't know that for sure. I think they go together, but I don't know. Anyway, Rebecca, I was just telling everybody about I just ordered my Indiana Jones hat. Oh, fucking shit. I cannot wait! Indiana Fears. Yeah, whatever. Indiana Jones, it's Indiana Fears, motherfuckers. That's right, Indiana Fears. You know, Indiana Jones, it's old news. Indiana Fears. And then some. That's right. No, I'm just joking. I love Indiana Jones. I cannot wait for the Dial of Destiny. I've heard both sides of the coin. I've heard it's going to be good. And then people at work are like, oh, Fears, I can't believe you're going to go spend your money on that. It's horrible. It's crap. It's garbage. And I'm like, how do you know? I'm like, it hasn't came out yet. And then all my friends at work are like, oh, God, from the trailers, it looks horrible. And I'm like, I don't know what the hell you're on about. I'm like, I watched the trailer, and the trailer looks actually quite good. You know? Anyway. Rebecca says, doing good, Fears. I'm glad you're doing good, Rebecca. Fears is doing pretty good. I'll be honest, though, Rebecca. I don't know if you saw the start of the stream. I was not doing good yesterday. Like, emotionally, I was fine. Physically, oh, my Lord. I had lunch, and it wasn't even a spicy lunch. I had a PBJ, a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, some cut-up celery, some cut-up carrots, some chips, and then some apple juice. Pretty standard, normal lunch, right? I eat it. Everything's fine. I sit down at this very spot. I begin editing my next project. I didn't finish it because of what happened, but I was editing. About an hour or two later, Rebecca, the Crohn's takes over Fears' body and shuts my body down. I go racing into the bathroom. Thank God I had a magazine in there because I did not get off the toilet from 3 p.m. to 11 o'clock at night. I just kept shitting my ass off. I don't mean to gross you guys out, but that's what happened. So when it finally did stop, I thought, oh God, I'm exhausted. I'm tired. So I went to sleep, had a nap, and when I woke up, because I had every indication of going into work. When I woke up, it was just as bad. It started all over again. And I went, I have got some intense diarrhea. I don't mean to gross anyone out. That's just what happened. And I called my boss, and he's like, oh, God, Fears. He goes, are you not coming in? I'm like, there's no way I can come in. I said, I'll be going to the bathroom every 2 minutes. I said, or I'll just be stuck in the bathroom. I said, I won't be any, good use to you guys. And he's like, all right, Fears. He's like, no worries. He's like, just stay home. He goes, you coming in tomorrow, right? I said, I'm not missing 2 days of work in a row. I said, come high or hell water. I'm coming into work tonight. And he's like, all right, man. He goes, don't worry about it. I'll see you there. So I'm going in tonight. My stomach feels better. So far, no diarrhea today. So there we are. But it was bad yesterday. Rebecca says, how's everyone been doing? Well, I don't know about everyone, Rebecca, but I'm doing pretty good. I'm very excited about my trip. Like I said, that's the next update. My trip is coming up soon. Sam's taking me to the airport July 1st. So, Sam, I appreciate that, buddy. Thank you so much. Sam's a good friend. I really appreciate Sam. He's a really nice guy. So Sam's saving me. Oh my God. I love living in Florida, but sometimes it's really expensive here. Sometimes it's like fucking Hollywood prices out here in Florida. And we all know that fucking California is just fucking skyrocketing, with they overcharge people in I've only been to California twice in my life, and every single time I went, like for a cab, it was like $55. I'm like, are you on crack? Like for an ice cream, it was like $10. I'm like, that better be the best damn ice cream I've ever had in my entire life. And this was back when I could have ice cream. I can't have ice cream now unless it's soy ice cream. Anyway, so anytime you take a taxi to the airport or from the airport back to the Casa de Fiers, you're looking at like $50 to $60. And I'm like, boo! That's not going to happen. Fiers tried to haggle with them. I'm like, I'll give you $25. And they're like, that's not going to happen. And I'm like, all right, well, fuck you. I'm out of here. So I'm like, because that's really not going to happen. So thanks to Sam. And then you can do the shuttles. But again, the shuttles, you're saving maybe $20. The shuttles are just as worse around the airport, So you're like, they say that you're saving a lot, but you're only really saving maybe $25. You're not really saving a lot. So there it is. Anyway, but Sam's going to save me a lot of money. So Sam, I really appreciate you taking me to the airport, buddy. When I get to Missouri, oh, it's party hardy. It's party hardy. Hanging out with the family. Gonna go check out my dad because I haven't seen my dad since it happened last September. So I'm gonna go to my dad's gravesite 2 times. My mom wants to go with me one day, and I said, of course. So my mom's going to come with me. We're going to get a bunch of flowers, go visit my dad. And then I said, Mom, do you mind if I go there one day on my own? I said, I really want to just talk to Dad by myself. And she's like, of course. So it'll be good to see my dad again. I'm going to go visit Grandma Fiers. And surprisingly, my mom called me the other day, Rebecca. My Grandma Fiers has been feeling ill the last couple of months since my dad's death. And, I guess she's upset, or she has every reason to be upset because her son passed away. But I've noticed a change in Grandma Fiers. Her mood has changed, obviously, because of what happened. She stopped eating for a while. Then we got really scared. She went to, skin and bone. And I was just like, I hope my grandma isn't trying to, kill herself or something, But she's, 89. So she's going to turn 90 soon. Her body's just breaking down. So, because me and my mom had a long conversation. My mom's like, no, your grandma isn't trying to do that. I went, okay. I'm like, good. I'm like, because I would be devastated if Grandma Fiers was the next to go. So I'm happy to report my grandma's feeling way better over the last 2 or 3 months. She's gained not all of her weight back, but most of her weight back, Rebecca. So she's feeling way better. Way better. And I asked for some prayers and some blessings from the fans. So I can't thank you guys enough. So Grandma Fiers is back to almost 100%. She's not there. She's not 100%, but she's probably 89%. But she was at 37%. So she was doing horrible. But I think she's back to a good old 89%, almost 90%. So that's good. That's good. And my mom said she is so excited to see her favorite grandson. And I'm like, yeah, buddy. I'm like, well, I'm excited to see Grandma Fiers. I'm going to take her out to dinner. Either lunch or I'm going to take her out to dinner. But sadly, she doesn't want to be in the vlog. And I said, that's okay. My grandma's kind of camera shy. But she told me, I told her, though, on the phone, I said, my fans prayed for you. And then she goes, well, tell your fans thank you very much and tell them that I appreciate all the love and the support and the blessings and the prayers. And I said, I will deliver the message, Grandma. So my grandma thanks all of you guys. So I really appreciate all the prayers and the blessings and all that. Shout out to Mickey. I thought I would have my coffee in my Mickey mug today. I was just in a Mickey mood. There it is. Anyway, lots of things to do whenever I get to Missouri. I got to go to V-Stock. That's my second favorite store in Missouri. They don't have V-Stock down here. They've got something similar, like FY what is it, FYI, FYE, whatever the hell that store is that I go to all the time. I think it's FYE. Yeah. It's okay. It's doable. It's doable, but it's not as good as V-Stock. V-Stock's only in the Midwest. Then, Slackers. Slackers is my all-time favorite nerd store. And there's only like 3 or 4 of them in the St. Louis, Illinois area. Oh, wait, the dude always gives me a bunch of shit. It's not Illinois, it's Illinois. There it is. I'm getting better at it, the dude. I've always said Illinois my entire life. But the dude gave me a bunch of crap one day. He's like, Fears, he goes, it's not fucking Illinois, it's Illinois. And I was like, oh, okay, my bad. He goes, it's Illinois, Fears, not Illinois. And I was like, I don't think it really matters. But apparently to the dude, it matters. So I didn't want to piss off the dude. And he was like, Fears, it's fucking Illinois. It's not Illinois. And I went, okay. So Illinois. So I can't wait to go to Slackers. It is such the coolest fucking nerd store ever. If you guys ever get a chance, if you're in the St. Louis area, go to Slackers. It's amazing. Yo, what's up? I think how you pronounce this guy's name, the Majestical Bro. Wow, that's quite the title. Majestical. Wow. He says, hey, Fears, what's up? Welcome. I gotta say, that's a pretty cool name. It's quite adventurous. Like, I'm the Majestical Bro. Yo. Anyway, let's see. What else am I doing when I get to Missouri? Oh, I've got to go to my favorite donut shop, and it's only in Missouri. They've only got one location. It's kind of like a mom and pop's kind of shop. They have the best donuts of all time. I'll give you an example. Think of the best donut you've ever eaten in your entire life. I mean, of all time. Like, out of the course of your entire life, it's better than that donut and then some. It's this little shop in downtown St. Louis called Donut Delight. Donut Delight. Amazing donuts. So good. Well, the Majestical Bro says, thank you, Fears. I hope your family is doing better. We have our good days, we have our bad days. The worst sound in the world is when my mom is crying on the phone. I hate that. I hate when my mom is sad. I cannot stand it. It gets me going sometimes. And I'm a pretty manly man. It takes a lot for Fears to get emotional. But when you hear your mother cry, that's a hard one to the old ticker. That's a hard one for the old ticker. But anyway. But we're doing better. I'll tell you what. The other day, Father's Day I was happy, but I was also sad. I was happy to honor my dad. My mom sent me a photo of my dad's grave. My mom went to go visit my dad, and she had decorated it beautifully with like flowers and an American flag because my dad served in the Army. And my mom put like a little Happy Father's Day thing on his grave. And my mom sent me a photo, and I requested that. I said, I want to put one to honor Dad on my Instagram and on my Facebook. My mom's like, yeah, sure, no problem. So she took some pictures. So it was good to see my dad. And my mom said that she stayed there for about 2 hours and just talked to him. And I was like, well, that's good, Mom. And then my mom said that they kind of went to a family member's birthday party. It was like a birthday party / barbecue on that day. And I was like, well, that's good, Mom. I said, at least you got out and got to hang out with the family. And then my mom was like, oh, John, you missed a hell of a barbecue. And I was like, I do like my uncle's barbecue. I'm like, he can grill some mean burgers and some steaks and some hot dogs on the grill. That's one of the best things that Fears knows how to cook. So, mi casa, su casa. If any fans want to come over, Fears will grill up some burgers and some hot dogs. My dad showed me how to grill, and my best buddy, Eric, showed me how to grill. I can cook, but does Fears choose to? Not really, because it's kind of boring. I'm the reverse from the dude. The dude loves cooking. He thinks it's so exciting. I don't know why he thinks it's exciting. I like to eat food, but the preparation of food takes forever. So yeah. Anyway. My mom said it was good. My mom said the barbecue was good and the birthday party, and I was like, oh, that's good. I said, I'm glad my uncle had a good birthday. My uncle turned 100. I kid you not. So he's like kind of a greater uncle, and I'm going to upload his picture on my Instagram soon. I forgot to upload it the other day, so I'm going to upload it today. So he turned 100. So he must be doing something right in his life. It must be crazy to be 100 years old. There's good points and bad points about it. It's good that you're still alive, but it's very sad because you outlive a lot of your relatives, and that's horrible, you know. Because then you have to go to so many funerals, and I mean that's a lot to deal with. Anyway, I've only went to a couple funerals in my life, and every single time I've had to go to a funeral, it's been tougher, you know, as you go. The very first funeral I ever went to was my grandpa Fears's funeral, and that was so tough because I loved my grandpa Fears. I still love him, and he inspired me to go to film school because he loved to film things just like I do. He was in charge of like doing all the Fears family videos, and he bought this. Well, back in the day it was high def. It's not high def anymore, but back in the day when he bought it in the 80s and 90s, it was super high def. Super high def. And then when he passed away, my dad took over, and then my dad lost interest, so I took over the family videos. My dad's always liked photography better. I like both. I like photography, and I like filming stuff and editing and all that. But my dad's passion was, well, one of my dad's passions was photography. Another one of his passions was whittling. My dad loved to whittle. So yeah. Congrats, Fears. Happy 100th birthday to Fears' great uncle. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I mean, 100, that's quite an achievement. So I'm gonna Instagram his photo later on today, either today or tonight, something like that. Anyway, thanks for liking the stream 5 times. I appreciate that. Anyway, let's see. So what else am I gonna do when I go to Missouri? Probably, well, my buddy Eric's been talking about having a barbecue, and I said I kind of want to spend the 4th of July with my mom and my brother, and he's like, well, why don't you do both, Fears? He goes, do whatever you want to do during the day with your mom and your brother and your brother's wife and all that, because she's like a sister to me now. You know, my brother's wife. We get along great. She's a wonderful lady. And I said, oh yeah. I said, that's cool. Yeah. I said, I'll hang out with my family during the day. And he goes, yeah. He goes, come over to the barbecue that I'm hosting, like at around 6 or 7. He goes, because we're gonna be barbecuing all fucking day on the 4th of July. And he goes, you know us, Fears. And I was like, oh yeah, Eric, I know. I said, you guys are gonna be partying until like 1, 2, 3 in the morning. He goes, oh yeah, Fears. So yeah. So I know I'm going to do that, and then I definitely have to check out my friend's Nerd Cave, because he's always, like me, he's always adding, you know, things to the Nerd Cave. If you guys haven't seen this, a fan painted this picture for me of Fears Man. And she said, well, Fears, I'm going to keep the original painting, but I'm going to take a photo of it, and I'm going to send you a digital copy. Well, I got it printed out, and right over here, Fears Man! Oh, yeah! I am just tickled to death that we've got some of the most important characters of film history on the wall. Lord Vader, Michael Myers, Sean Connery as James Bond, and then the Fears Man. That's right. So, I only put the most famous historical movie characters on the walls. And I can honestly say Fears Man, he hasn't got to a movie yet, but he's been on YouTube and TikTok dozens of times. But so in my mind, he's a great film character, and he will forever stay on the wall. And I got the biggest poster that you can possibly have at Walmart. I said, what's the biggest poster? And I think it was like a 23 by 26. And then the lady looked at me and she goes, well, we can print it out. But she goes, I don't know if we have a big enough frame for it. And I said, yeah, you do. I said, well, there's a will, there's a way. I said, it has to go into a frame. And she goes, no. She goes, I know it'll fit into a frame. But she goes, I don't know if we physically have the frame in the store. I said, well, if you don't, I'll just go to Sam's Club or Costco and I'll find a frame. And then she goes, let me check. So she had to go way into the back because hardly anyone ever gets a poster that big. And so I said, okay. I said, yeah. She goes, I know we don't have them on the sales floor, but she goes, maybe we have them in the back. And I said, well, would you mind? I said, is it too much trouble to look into the back? She goes, no, it's not too much trouble. I went, oh, great. I said, if you could, I said, that would be fantastic. She goes into the back, and she goes, you're in luck. She goes, we've got 2 frames left. And I went, yes! Yes. And I said, I'll take one of them. So, put in the frame, bada bing, bada boom. It's on the wall. Yeah, buddy. Majestical bro, that's pretty cool, right? It's pretty cool to have Fears Man on the wall. He's my inspiration. Well, Superman was my inspiration, and then my class project of making a superhero was the inspiration. I gelled them together, and then when Randall said, hey, Fears, you should make your own cartoon character. I said, well, Randall, I said, technically, I've already got a character invented, ready to go. And he went, oh, yeah, what's that? And I went, well, I said, he started off as a class project, but I said, every couple of years I've been adding little gems to the character, and I said I've molded the character, half of it from Superman, half of stuff from my own life, half of stuff from the film school project, and I meshed it all together. And then Randall was like, well, what's his name? And I went, oh, his name is the fucking Fears Man. And Randall instantly was laughing. He's like, tell me more about the character. I told him. And then from that day on, Randall's like, Fears, we have to make this into a cartoon. I said, well, I think the better question is why wouldn't we? Why wouldn't we? There it is. So, yeah. There it is. Yo, Pixel, he says, I thought the track coach named you Fears Man because you were so fast. Well, it was a mixture of both, Pixel. That is true. That's true. But I would always tell my coach about that little class project, and I named him Fears Man. And then, because I ran so fast on the track team, the story goes, my coach was like, well, Fears, too bad Superman is already taken. And I was like, you can call me. So it was a mixture of both, Pixel. I would tell him so much about this character that I made. And so he was like, oh, man, too bad Superman is taken. And I said, you can call me Superman if you want. And he's like, no, I'll think of something, Fears. A couple days go by, and he went, Fears, it was right under our noses. And I was like, what do you mean? What are you on about? He goes, Fears. He goes, you know that little character you told me about? I went, yeah, Fears Man. I'm like, what about it? He goes, you are the fucking Fears Man. And I went, all right. I'm like, that's cool. I'm like, I'll roll with the Fears Man. And he went, Fears, you have to. And I was like, I'm all about it. Let's do it. So from that day on, it was a mixture of both stories, Pixel. Anyway, big shout out to Pixel. Pixel, shout out to your dad yesterday. I know we had a conversation. Unfortunately, I don't think Pixel will mind if I say this. Unfortunately, my dad's passed away, Pixel's dad's passed away, and Lord Vision's. So I wrote Visions and Pixel the other day and said, hey, listen, I feel your pain because I've went through it. You guys have went through it. And I said, shout out to your dad, Pixel. Shout out to Vision's dad. Pixel, I hope you don't mind me saying this. Pixel said, Fears, I hope our dads are proud of us. And I said, Pixel, it's no question. I said, I know for a fact he's proud of you. And my dad is proud of me. And I said, Pixel, I guarantee you, my dad, Pixel's dad, and Vision's dad, they're all hanging out in heaven, and they're crushing beers with each other right now, Pixel. They're sharing stories. They're chilling at the bar, at the Heavens bar, just drinking away, having a good time, boozing it up with each other. For sure, Pixel. No question in my mind. So, Pixel, you didn't even have to ask me that question. I know your dad is proud of you. My dad is very proud of me because before my dad passed away, my dad grabbed my shoulder. He kind of like pulled me in, and he gave me a hug, and he said, I'm very proud of you. And he goes, take care of the family. And I said, I will. So, I know my dad said it to me before he fortunately left this earth. So, yeah. Rebecca says, yo, Pixel. Rebecca says, welcome back, Pixel. Well, he didn't really go anywhere, Rebecca. He's always been here. Anyway, what else am I doing when I get to Missouri? Let's see here. Well, Yakov, in my version of heaven, there's booze. In my version of heaven, there's booze. And Pixel's dad and my dad and Vision's dad, they're all boozing away. And I cannot wait to see my dad again. So, there it is. Let's see, what else am I doing? Oh, I know I'm going to go check out one day. I'm going to go check out my buddy Dave's not convention. My buddy Dave sold his convention, and then Pixel, check this out. I've told you this story before, but for all the fans that don't know this story, my buddy Dave lost a lot of money on like his last 2 contamination conventions. So like 1 through 4, for some reason, was a big success. And then I remember Dave like called me up and said, Fears, I lost so much money on Contamination 5 and Contamination 6. And I was like, really? I'm like, I went to both. They were a lot of fun. He goes, yeah, they may be fun, Fears. He goes, but I lost a shitload of money. And I was like, really? I'm like, oh, that's nuts. And he goes, yeah, but he goes, it doesn't matter, Fears. He goes, what I'm going to do is, he goes, that was one dream of my life, to own and operate a convention. He goes, now the next dream is to own my own comic book store. I went, yeah, man. I said, why wouldn't you? I said, fucking go for it. He goes, well, I'm going to sell the contamination convention to someone, and with all that money, me and my wife is going to open up my own comic book store. I went, oh, fuck yeah, dude. So he sold it, Pixel and everybody, to some guy in Europe. I don't know where in Europe, but now the contamination convention, I guess, takes place in Europe. I haven't really followed it since Dave sold it, but Dave has this amazing comic book shop. If you're ever in Belleville, Illinois, not Illinois, go. It's called Cosmic Comics. If you guys ever get a chance, go and check that out, because my buddy Dave he's got the coolest kick-ass comic book shop of all time. Of all time, man. Anyway. Yo, Yagbo. He says, howdy, Rebecca. What up, Yakovich? Anyway, hopefully all the other fans will show up. Anyway. So that's just a mixture of what I'm going to do in Missouri. There's other things I'm going to do in Missouri. I know me and Travis and Mike and Jonathan, we're probably going to do our Ultimate Bowling Guys night like we always do. And Jonathan was saying, hey, Fierce, why don't we switch it up a little bit and do an escape room? And I was like, you know what, buddy? I'm like, I've done escape rooms before. I said, it's been a while since I've done an escape room. I said, he goes, or we could just do both, Fears. He goes, we could do an escape room and then get some lunch or some dinner and then go bowling. I was like, listen, I said, I'm down for whatever you want to do. So I said, you know me. I said, I'm easy Ozy. I don't care what we do, just as long as we hang out. So yeah. Hey, Larry, what's up? How you doing, buddy? All right, let's get to this. It's been a while since Fears has watched. There's many versions of the story of the Headless Horseman. It's like one of the oldest ghost stories in American history. So, and it's basically about Ichaabod Crane. He comes to Sleepy Hollow. He's a school teacher, kind of a nerdy guy. And he starts dating like this really hot chick. And like the town bully gets like really upset. And basically the town bully's like, yeah, fuck off. Like, that's my lady. And then Ichabod's like, no, you can kiss my ass. Like, she doesn't like you. She likes me. And so you can just try, laddie, fucking dog, get the hell out of my face. And so then, like, the bully and Ichabod, like, have this little battle. And then that's that. Ichabod ends up, like, you know, getting the chick. And then all of a sudden, they're at a party. And the bully tells him the story of the Headless Horseman. And then on the way home, Ichabod gets attacked by the Headless Horseman. But here's the thing. A lot of people think, is it the bully dressed up as the Headless Horseman and kills Ichabod, or is it really the Headless Horseman that kills him? And they always leave it up, like, well, we'll never know. It's either that guy or it's that guy. So there's many versions. There's the book. I had to read the book in high school. Very good book. I forgot the writer who wrote it, but I read it. Very good. So there's that version. Then there's the cartoon version that I watched. It's been a while. It's been like 15 years since I watched it. So I thought, you know what? I'll watch it. I said, that'll be a good thing to review today. So I'm going to take it back to the library tomorrow, but good movie. Then there's Sleepy Hollow with Johnny Depp. Then there's the crazy one that was made in like 2005, 2006 where it's like a modern day Ichabod Crane, like, and I don't know why, because time travel has nothing to do with Sleepy Hollow, but in that version, there's like fucking time travel, and there's like different monsters trying to like attack Ichabod, plus the Headless Horseman and all this other bullshit. And I'm like, what the fuck does time travel have to do with the fucking Sleepy Hollow story? Nothing. Zero. Nothing. So I watched a couple episodes of that back in the day, and I was like, this is shit water garbage, so I'm not watching it ever again. I watched about 4 episodes, and on the 4th episode, I was like, it's time for a Napo. So yeah. So don't watch that one. That one's horrible. This one's pretty good, though. But I've forgotten. It's The Adventures of Ichabod and Mr. Toad. So you have to watch, there's 2 stories. So you watch the Mr. Toad story first, and that's like the starter. And then there's an interval in the movie, and it goes back to like a library, and then a hand comes out of nowhere and picks a book off the shelf and says, now it's time to tell the story of Ichabod's fate. And then they open up the Headless Horseman book, and then the movie starts. So the first like 15, 20 minutes is like this kind of pre-story about this character, Mr. Toad. Mr. Toad. It's like kind of like a Disney short, like literally. It's about a 20 to 25 minute short. Then the next hour and a half, or however long, is about Ichabod and his girlfriend and the whole 9 yards. And it's basically just a cartoon version of the book. And it had been a long time since I watched it. And when did they make this? They made this, I think, back in the 60s. I think. Let's see. When did they make this movie? Well, it came out on DVD in 2014, but I think when they initially made it, it was 1960... Oh, what is it? I think it was 1966. I think. So, yeah. They made it in the 60s. Something like that. But it's a little outdated. Fears would give it about an 8. I think a new cartoon version needs to revamp it up. But Fears has always had a soft spot, in my heart for Disney. I always have. I have tons of Disney memories with my dad and my mom going to the parks. Whenever I could eat ice cream, sitting in my fucking stroller at 4 or 5, licking the fucking Mickey Mouse ice cream, the whole 9 yards. Getting terrified by Mickey the first time I saw him. It's weird. Fears didn't get scared of Santa Claus, like most kids do. I just thought he was a jolly old guy, but a 6-foot mouse, I was like, oh, fucking shit, But once I calmed down and stopped crying, and my mom said, no, he's a good guy, then me and Mickey became friends, and now he's a part of Fears' life forever, so there it is. I miss going to the parks. I haven't went to the parks in a good minute. I haven't went back since COVID started. So, yeah. But now COVID's kind of like dying down. It's just the parks are so expensive to go to. It's even more expensive to buy season passes. But once you buy them, then they're worth it, Because I think a normal season pass for Disney, it's like $550 for the entire year. Then to renew it each year, I think it's like $100, something like that. That's what my friend told me. Don't quote me on the prices. But so I thought about investing in a season pass at some point, because I've heard from a bunch of fans that they loved my Disney Universal vlogs. I like doing them. It does get hot when you walk in the park, though, because sometimes the sun here, it's nice. Other times it's fucking brutal. Especially with 20,000 people in the park, screaming kids, going nuts, Goofy and Daffy Duck screaming in Fears' ears, all that stuff. It's a lot, but I get great footage for the vlog, I'd say Fears' top 5 Disney characters, because now you have to take into consideration Disney owns Indiana Jones now, Disney owns Marvel, and I think they own DC. I'm pretty sure. Right? And now they own all that animation, all that. Well, they've always owned that animation, but now they own even more of that animation crap. All that stuff. My very first Disney character that I ever fell in love with, Aladdin. Aladdin's the fucking man. Aladdin and the Genie. So that's number one. Number two, any character out of Toy Story. Number three, Belle. Belle's a pretty hot babe. She's smoking hot. If I was a cartoon character, I'd be like, hey, Belle, can I ring your bell? Yes, I think so. Belle's pretty hot. When I was a kid, I always thought Dopey was hilarious out of the Seven Dwarfs. Because Dopey is kind of goofy, you know? So, yeah. So, and Fears is super goofy. I love making you guys laugh. I like making myself laugh, too. So, I always had a special place in Fears' heart for Dopey and, of course, Goofy. Goofy is hilarious. Daffy. I'm sorry, not Daffy. What the fuck is his name? Donald. So I'd say those 5 or 6 are Fear. I mean, there's others. I love Chip and Dale and all the other ones. But those are like my top 5, 6 favorite Disney characters. So yeah, anytime I can get some footage hanging out with the Disney characters, I do. So far on film, I've gotten Mickey, Buzz Lightyear from the vlogs, Mickey, Buzz Lightyear, Daisy Duck, Donald's girlfriend, Donald, Goofy, Minnie, that character from Big, you know, the old grumpy guy with the massive glasses that ties balloons to his house and that floats up, that guy. The Incredibles, they've been on film in my vlogs. Pluto. Pluto's been in there. Joy and Sadness from that Disney like Feelings movie. Yeah, they've been in there. And I think Cinderella. I think. Anyway. One thing I've always wanted to do, back in the day, you couldn't go in that castle. So I think since the years have progressed, I don't know. I know some of my Disney history, but I don't know a lot of my Disney history. So don't quote me on this. I think what they did is they initially turned Walt Disney's apartment in Cinderella's castle. He was supposed to live in that because I've done a report on Walt Disney because he's one of my heroes. I did one in high school and I did one in college. He had 2 offices/apartments. In Disneyland, when you walk in, if you look at the firehouse, if you look up in the window, they always have a light on. And that's where Walt Disney lived. When he had to work late nights, he would just stay in his apartment in the park. And he always left a light on because he always worked late nights. And he would fall asleep either on the couch or in his bed, and he would forget to turn the light off. So to honor him, now that he's been passed away for so many years, in Disneyland, they always leave the light on. Whether it's day, night, it's constantly on above the firehouse. And they said when he would have to get down, he would always slide down the fire pole, and that's how he got out of his apartment. To get into his apartment, he would open up this red door that's in the firehouse and just walk up the stairs. But he would always slide down the pole. And I was like, that's fucking great. That's amazing. Then, when he was building, he never got to see Epcot. But he got to see the Magic Kingdom. And he thought, oh, well, I've got an apartment in, Disneyland in LA. I need an apartment out here in Florida. And I think it was his wife's suggestion, well, why don't you live in the center of the park in Cinderella's castle? And he went, oh, that's a great idea. He goes, I'll put our apartment at the very tip top of the castle. So initially, but before they could finish his apartment, unfortunately he passed away. And then years later, they were using it for storage. Because whenever I worked at Disney, I asked one of my managers, I said, hey, when did they convert that storage area to Cinderella's bedroom. And they said it was an afterthought. I said, well, what do you mean? She goes, well, for a while, she goes, we didn't know what the fuck to do with it, so it was storage for the longest time. And then someone said, well, that was supposed to be Walt Disney's apartment. Why don't we honor him and do something cool? And then they said, well, it is Cinderella's castle, so why don't we make it like Cinderella's apartment / bedroom? And they said, we'll do contests and fans can stay in there. I've always wanted to stay in her apartment at the tip top of the castle, because it's right at the fucking tip top. I've never seen it. I've heard about it. But that would be quite the vlog one day if Fears got up there. I would be filming away. I would be going fucking nuts up there. It would be great. So I think they transformed it into her apartment / bedroom in like 2002, 2001, something like that. I was still in high school, I think, whenever they did it, because when my buddy Eric worked at the park, he said, Fears, I got to see it once. And I was like, really? And he goes, I was one of the maintenance guys. And he goes, and I would go all around the park fixing and maintaining all the air conditioning. And he goes, one time, one of the air conditions broke in the castle. And he goes, I thought it was on the ground level. I went, oh, yeah? And he goes, no, actually, it was up there. And I was like, oh, shit. I'm like, that's fun. He goes, they hadn't decorated it. He goes, they were still trying to put the little odds and ends and shit in there. I went, at least you got to see it. I'm like, I've never seen it. I said, I've seen pictures of it online and all that shit. Now they've put a restaurant in Cinderella's castle, and for a fee you can have like dinner with Cinderella and the whole 9 yards. So I've always wanted to go do that dinner just to say, hey, I've done it and vlog it. Then in Fairy Tale Land, you've got Beauty and the Beast castle, and you can have dinner with Belle and the Beast and all that crap, and yeah. So yeah. Larry says, are you off work today? No, I was off work yesterday, buddy, because my stomach was not feeling good. Larry, I don't want to gross you out, but I had some intense diarrhea, man. It was bad. Fears did not get off the toilet for quite a while. It was bad. But I'm going into work tonight. I don't have to be at work tonight until 3:45, so yeah. So I thought I would do a stream and hang out with you guys for a little while. And then I'm going to get some din and take a shower, and then I'm going to start working on 2 videos. So hopefully I have both of them up tonight or one of them. So yeah. Larry, I know you were asking about the Titanic vlog. It's coming. Be patient. It's on the way. It's coming. I promise. I filmed so much that day. I filled up 2 memory cards. Not 1. 2. So I'm trying to figure out what footage to put in and what footage not to put in. So we'll see. Let's just put it this way. It'll probably be a good size medium vlog. Probably over 15 minutes. Because I know you guys like the longer versions of the vlogs. And then I made kind of like a mini version, the highlight vlogs, and put them on the main channel. But it'll be a good size, decent vlog. Alright. Next topic. So, time to talk about Fears' old girlfriends. Hopefully I'm not opening up a can of worms here, but I've mentioned them in the past, but I thought I would talk about each one of them. There's only been a couple of special ladies in Fears' life. Just like everybody, you see that one amazing girl, you're like, ooh, I want to find out who she is. You start talking to them, and eventually you start dating them. My very first girlfriend ever, her name was Shelly. I met her at a church function, and it was volleyball night at my church. She came with one of her friends, and really, initially, her friend liked me, but I had no interest in her friend. Like, her friend was, but I was more interested in Shelly. But I thought, oh, well, there's no way she's interested in me, because she barely said a word to me the entire night, right? Her friend was jibber-jabbering, going nuts, and I'm just like, I have no interest in this girl, right? But I was trying to be nice. Sorry, there was a fly. A fly has been in my apartment the last 4 days, and it's been buzzing around, and when I find it, I'm gonna kill it. But it kept buzzing around my nose, so I apologize. I don't know how it got in. I think when I opened up the door yesterday and brought my groceries in, I think he whizzled his way in, you know? So he either popped in yesterday or a couple of days ago. I don't know when he popped his little head in, but he's been driving me nuts. Anyway, so I didn't want to be rude to her friend, so I just her friend Shelly went to the bathroom. The girl that was talking my ear off, Larry, I just went up to her and said, "Hey," I said, "you seem really nice," but I said, "I'll be honest," I said, "I'm more interested in your friend Shelly." And she went, "Oh, really?" She's like, "Well, I kind of had a crush on you." And I was like 14, 15 at the time, and her friend was 16, and then Shelly was 14, and I was 15. And I said, "Yeah," I said, I'm really interested in Shelly." And then she's like, "Well," she goes, "I guess I can introduce you to her." She goes, she's kind of quiet at first, but then once she gets to know you, then she'll start talking. And I said, "Yeah," I said, "she's barely said anything all night." She goes, "Well, she kind of likes you, John." Not as much as me, but I said, "Listen," I said, I'm glad that you like me, but I said, I'm just not attracted to you." And I said, "I'm not trying to be rude." I said, "I'm just more attracted to Shelly." She's like, "All right." She's like, I guess I'll introduce you." I went, "I would appreciate it." So she introduced me to Shelly. We went over to a table, and they were like cooking like hot dogs and hamburgers while everybody was playing volleyball. So I said, "Hey," I said, "do you want to go grab some food and like just kind of sit down and talk?" So we sat down and talked pretty much all night, and we played like 1 or 2 games of volleyball, but really we just sat there and talked. And then she's like, "Well, hey," she's like, "we should hang out." And I said, "Oh yeah, for sure." And this was back in the day when Fears had no car. I had my permit license, but I was like, I was 15, so I didn't have the Fears mobile yet, not yet. So I said, "Well, if we hang out," I said, "your mom's gonna have to drive us, or my mom's gonna have to." She goes, "Yeah, but that's no problem." And I was like, "Oh, okay." So yeah, Larry says, "Did Shelly and her friend fight over the Fears man?" They didn't really fight over the Fears man. Her friend just finally stopped hitting on me, and then her friend introduced me to Shelly, and then the friend kind of walked away. And then she said, "Well, better my friend have Fears than us fighting over Fears." So Shelly was kind of my very first girlfriend, and it was kind of like, that middle school type of love stuff, like, "Hey, come over to my house, and we'll do some hanky-panky and all that crap, So before we got to any of that, I remember our very first hangout. Shelly threw this big birthday party for herself. She invited all of her friends over, and then she invited me as like her quote-unquote like date. And so she had her arm around me the whole night, and she just kept implying that I was her boyfriend. And I was like, "Well, we haven't went on a date yet." I said, "We've hung out now twice." So apparently she had told him, "Oh, my boyfriend's coming, my boyfriend." So I just kind of went along with it, and I was like, yeah, I guess I'm her boyfriend. And then people started leaving the party slowly but surely, and I was one of the last ones to leave, and I kind of pulled her off to the side, and I said, "When did we become boyfriend and girlfriend?" She goes, "Oh, I hope you don't mind. I told everybody." She goes, I really like you, John." She goes, "And I want you to be my boyfriend." I said, "Well, you could have asked me, and she goes, "Oh, do you mind?" I said, "I don't really mind." I said, "I just don't like lying to people." And I said, "I didn't like that you implied it," but I said, "It's fine, no worries." I said, "I think we should talk about it, though." And she goes, "Oh, we will. She was like, "Do you want to come over this weekend and hang out?" That's when we established that we were boyfriend and girlfriend, like once we talked about it. So I came over like that Saturday, and then we were down in her basement watching movies on a couch. We started watching movies, and of course, as teenagers do, one thing led to another. She started making out with me, I started making out with her, and the rest is history. And the only reason why me and her didn't work out is because she went to a different high school. I went to West High in the Wentzville area, and she went to South High. So that's the reason why it didn't work out. But we remained friends. And then she doesn't have a Facebook, and I lost contact with her. So that was the very first That was the very first quote-unquote girlfriend. Hey, Chicken Wizard, what's up? Did you watch The Luck of the Irish? Not that, but that's when that movie came out, Chicken Wizard, and Fears has that movie in the collection. It's up there. It's up there. I had to hunt to find that one, too. It was hard to get that one on DVD, but I found it off a website, and it's in the collection, buddy. So that was girlfriend number one. Girlfriend number two, her name was Christina, and she started off nice, but then she turned into an ultimate super crazy bitch. That's the nicest way to put it. Her name was Christina. I met her off a dating site. She lived about an hour away. We lasted about 6 or 7 months, and she just kept getting really demanding. Very demanding. You can't hang out with this person. You have to hang out with me. You can't do this. You can't do that. And I'm like, who the hell are you to say that I can't hang out with that person? He's not good for you, John. And I was like, oh, here we go. And I was like, listen, here's the deal. Nobody tells me who I can and can't hang out with. All right? So I said, let's just shut that down right now. Second of all, I said, you need to give me some space. I said, you're so demanding. And then she got offended by that. I said, I don't know how to say it more nicely. I said, you're always on, da-da-da-da-da. And I said, it's always what you want. I said, a relationship is about what both people want, and talking and communication and all that stuff. So I ended that one. And she's like, fine. She goes, you're lost. You're lost. Then after we ended it, or after I ended it, she got even more crazy. She started dating this one guy. The one guy got my number from her, started harassing me. So I had to shut that shit down too. I said, if you call this number again, I swear to holy God, either I'll beat the shit out of you and call the cops, or both. And he goes, I'm not afraid of you. And I go, well, I'm not afraid of you. I go, I don't understand why the fuck you're calling me. And he goes, well, I'm standing up for my new girlfriend. I went, fine. But I'm like, I don't know who the hell you are. So I said, he goes, yeah, well, you dated her at one point. I said, yes, I did. And then so I said, it doesn't make any sense why you're calling me. He goes, well, I'm defending her honor. And I was like, there's no reason to. I said, I didn't do anything to her. I said, we just didn't work out. We didn't agree on certain stuff. She was too demanding. I said, you know what? Later, I think I'm going to take off. And it got so bad, Larry, that I had to basically threaten the guy. I was like, if you don't stop, I'm going to kick your ass and I'm going to call the cops. And I guess I freaked him the hell out because I never heard from him or her ever again. So that was girlfriend number two. Girlfriend number three, I met this girl off a dating site. Her name was Abby. And the only reason why that one didn't work out is she lived 3 hours away. But we dated for quite a while. We dated for like 8 months. And I just got sick and tired of driving there 3 hours and driving 3 hours back. So to hang out with her in one day would take 6 hours. So 3 hours there, and then I would hang out for like 2 or 3 hours and then drive 3 hours back, right? So yeah. And she didn't like driving 3 hours to see me. And I think we both ended that amicably. She goes, listen, John, she goes, you're a great guy. I said, I don't know where this is going. And then she's like, what? I said, well, listen, I said, you don't like driving 3 hours away. I don't like driving 3 hours away. So I said, why don't we just, I said, I guess we're going to have to call it off. And she's like, yeah. She goes, I think you're great. She goes, if you lived closer. I said, yeah. I said, exactly. I said, if you lived closer, I said, maybe we could stay together. So I said, let's just be friends. And we were friends for a while. And then once she moved away, I guess she got rid of her Facebook and I never heard from her ever again. So that was the third girlfriend. So I've had a lot of bad luck with girls. Some good, some bad. Then fourth girlfriend was, let's see here. Oh, was Heather, the girl that cheated on me. And I caught her in the act. So I met her through another friend. And my friend calls me up one day, and I've told you guys this story before. He goes, hey, Fears, what's going on? What you doing? I said, oh, nothing much. I said, just chilling out. And he goes, well, I've got some news for you. And I said, good or bad? He goes, it's pretty bad. I went, oh, yeah? I'm like, lay it on me, buddy. And he goes, He goes, you know you're dating Heather, right? And I went, yeah. And he goes, well, I'm at the movies right now. And I said, oh, yeah, what are you seeing? And I can't remember what he saw. He goes, oh, I'm seeing such and such. I went, oh, nice. I'm like, let me know if the movie's good. He goes, the movie's good. He goes, it's already over. He goes, I stayed and watched a second performance of it. And I said, what did you do? He goes, I was about to leave. And he goes, guess who I see? I said, who? And he goes, Heather. I went, well, yeah. I'm like, she's probably with one of her girlfriends or her mom or something. And then she goes, oh, she's with someone, but definitely not one of her girlfriends. I went, are you serious? He went, Fears, I'm dead serious. And I went, dude, do me a favor. I said, do whatever it takes to keep her there with that fucking idiot. And he goes, oh, yeah. He goes, I got you, Fears. He goes, I got you 100%. So he stayed, watched the second performance. As they're walking out, he stops them. He's like, oh, hey, how's it going? And Heather straight up lies to my buddy and says, oh, this is my cousin. And then the guy that she's with is kind of standing there like, I guess I'm her cousin, da-da-da-da-da. Because he had to play along. Because at that moment, my friend said that guy knew that they had been caught. So he was like, yeah, I'm her cousin. I get there. My friend kind of waves because he was here and their backs were towards me, so they didn't see me walking up, right, Larry and Chicken Wizard? So I walk up and my friend's like, yeah, that's cool. He's like, well, hey, nice to meet you. He goes, hey, Heather, go ahead and turn around for me. She turns around. I go, oh, hey, Heather, it's Fierce. Remember your boyfriend? Who the fuck is this? I'm like, oh, your cousin? Your made-up cousin? And then she goes, no, Fears, I can explain. I'm like, no, you're a fucking bitch. You can't explain anything. You're an idiot. I caught you in the act. I said, my friend watched the whole thing. And she goes, no, he didn't. I said, oh, yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. He goes, he saw you guys kissing, flirting. He texted me the whole 9 yards. You're a fucking bitch. He's a fucking idiot. And then the guy started saying something, and I looked right at him, and I said, don't you fucking say one fucking word. I said, because if you do, I'm going to knock your fucking teeth out. And I said, shame on you. And so he shut the fuck up real quick. And I said, you're a fucking bitch. And I said, I was nothing but nice to you. And I said, why would you cheat on me? And she didn't have an answer. She's like, I don't know. But, the classic bullshit. I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm like, no, you're not sorry. So I said, I don't date cheaters. It's fucking over. No, I can explain. I'm like, you can't explain nothing. And so then I told my friend, I said, come on, man. I said, we're out of here. No, Fears, wait. I said, fuck you. Later. And I've never heard from her ever again. So that's how that went down. So that one kind of hurt. But I loved how she said, oh, no, I can explain. You can't explain anything when someone catches you in the act. I'm like, there's no explanation for that. Zero explanation for that. That's like if I committed a crime and then the cops were like, well, you committed a crime. No, I didn't, officer. I can explain. And then they would be like, you're an idiot. We just saw you commit a crime. It's on the security footage. You can't explain anything. Same principle. She literally tried to get out of it. No, you don't understand. Like, this guy's my cousin. And she had this whole backstory. And that guy's standing there like an idiot, like, yeah, that's true. Yeah. I'm like, you're an idiot. No, it's not true. I'm like, shut your fucking mouth. I loved it. I was laughing the whole time. I went, you are a bitch. Your story doesn't make any sense. You're fucking hilarious. It was hysterical. Then me and my friend are driving back, and he said, Fierce, can you believe her little made-up story? I went, yeah, it made no damn sense. I said, thank you so much for calling me. He goes, well, Fierce. He goes, I wouldn't be a good friend and let them get away with that. He goes, you're such a nice guy. He goes, and you treated Heather so nice up until now. I said, I lost some patience, buddy. I said, I probably shouldn't have called her a bitch. And then my friend was like, why wouldn't you? He goes, Fears. He goes, she fucked you over. And I said, yeah. I said, but I kind of lost some patience because people started listening because I got quite loud. But the reason why is because I was enraged and I didn't want to give her a chance to talk because I was like, there's nothing that you can say to justify the situation. So I didn't give her a chance to, like, she got in a few, oh, no, I can explain. I was like, you can't explain anything. So yeah. So my friend's like, Fears, you did the right thing. He goes, if it happened to me, he goes, I would probably have said it the same way. He goes, I don't know if I would have said it as loud as you, Fears. And he goes, but I would have probably said the same shit. I said, well, all right. I said, at least you would do the same thing. He goes, yeah, she cheated on you. He goes, what a bitch. And I said, dude, I treated her so right. And he goes, I don't understand it, Fears. I went, you know what, buddy? I'm like, I don't understand it either. And then my friend was like, he said something to the effect of, oh, well, many more fish in the sea, Fears. I went, that's what my dad says. So I'm like, on to the next one. So there it is. So that was Heather. And then the next one was Allie. And I was really in love with Allie. I met her at, we used to work together. And the reason why that one didn't work out is because people at Walmart are like high school kids. We met and we tried to keep our relationship secret. And I said, Allie, if anyone at work finds out that we're dating, they're going to start making all these rumors and stuff. And then she's like, I don't think they'll say anything, Fears. I said, listen, I said, I've worked here for like 2 years. I said, some people at this Walmart are nice and other people are just crazy. I said, they're going to start talking. So I said, why don't we just keep it on the hush-hush? I said, then there won't be a bunch of bullshit rumors and all that crap. She goes, all right. And she didn't know that I had some friends on my Facebook from work. She posts a picture on her Facebook, and then all hell broke loose. Everybody knew. And for a while, people didn't care. So I went, okay. I said, well, maybe I'm wrong. I said, people aren't saying much. People were happy that we were dating. I went, okay, I'm like, I guess they're not going to spread any rumors or anything. So I started posting some pictures of me and her on my Facebook. And then once I did, then all the rumors started. And for a while, I was like, Allie, just don't listen to them. Just do not listen to them. Do not listen to them. It kept getting worse. It kept getting worse to the point of, she's like, John, I can't take all these rumors anymore. And I was like, all right, whatever. And so she broke up with me. And then she started dating like this black guy, and then she got involved with drugs, and it was one thing after another with her. And I don't date people that do drugs. And I tried not really to save her. Her mom loved me, so I talked to her mom and said, like, do you want me to go try to talk some sense into her? She's like, yes, John, please. I'm so worried about my daughter. And I was like, I don't know what I can say. I said, I don't think she's going to listen to me. So, but I tried. I went over and I talked to her because she was living with one of her girlfriends. So I went over and talked to her for like an hour or two. I said, that guy is not good for you. And she's like, I thought we were friends. And I said, we are friends. I said, that's why I'm trying to chat with you. I said, that guy is into drugs. I said, he's all over the place. I said, nothing good can happen to this. Well, of course, she didn't listen to me. So I said, you know what? I said, it's out of my hands. And I wished her luck and I wished her mom luck. And I just heard it through the grapevine. It got even worse. And then she had to go back and she went to rehab. And it was all over the place. It was insane. And then the funny thing about it was a few years later, she got herself clean and sober. And then she started dating a guy that looked almost exactly like me. Like this guy did the same haircut as me. Sometimes he has the 5 o'clock shadow like I do. Almost the same height as me. So it was like a picture perfect version of me, but it wasn't me. And so a friend of mine that still worked at Walmart, I had already moved on to another job, but my friend worked at Walmart and said, hey, Fierce, check out this new guy that she's dating. I said, that looks exactly like me. He goes, I guess the image of you is still in her mind, and that was the next guy she dated. Apparently she dropped head over heels for that guy. They were going to get married. Then all of a sudden she had a kid with him. I guess the guy got scared, and then he went, yeah, fuck you. I don't want to be a dad. Try bye. I'm out of here. And he left, and then she had to raise her daughter all by herself, and she never heard ever again from that guy. And that's the last I heard of Allie, because the minute we stopped dating, she removed me off of Facebook. So I don't know what happened to her, but hopefully I wish her well. And then the newest one was Casey. So Casey was probably been the nicest girl out of all of my relationships. Probably the best girlfriend I've ever had. So I wish it would have worked out with her. And I met her. You guys know how I met her. I met her down here off a dating site. We dated for about 8 or 9 months. And it just didn't work out because we were 2 different people. So yeah. And we just kept getting into arguments. And it ended somewhat amicably. And then she's like, well, can we still be friends? And I said, sure. I said, we can still be friends. So I hear from her every once in a while. And I wish her luck. I don't really agree with the guy that she's dating, but it's none of my business. But I said, if you're happy, I'm happy. I said, I wish you luck. She moved away for a job, so she's got a whole different new life. I'm totally over her. She's totally over me, and I wish it would have worked out though, because out of all the girlfriends, I'd say Shelly, the girl that I met from church camp, and Casey were the two best girlfriends I've ever had. So yeah. But unfortunately, it didn't work out. So that's the history of Fears. So I've dated 5 girls, 5 relationships. So yeah. And then there was random dates in between all those girlfriends that didn't work out. But yeah, like for a while, I went on like 4 or 5 dates with this one girl named Jen. But she had to move away for her dad's job, so it was going to be potentially boyfriend and girlfriend, but it never made it because she was like, well, John, those 5 dates were great, but she goes, I'm going to have to cut it off. And I said, why is that? She goes, oh, my dad's moving, and I have to move away, because I live with my parents, and I'm about to go to college, and, like, my dad got a job in, like, Oregon or some shit. And I was like, oh, okay. And I know she wasn't lying to me because I helped her pack. I said, oh, well, I guess I'll help you pack, and I said, I'll say goodbye. And I remember I was at her house, and I gave her a hug and said, well, good luck with everything in Oregon or Portland or wherever you're going. And I never heard of, but that's not really a boyfriend and girlfriend. It was going to be. We had 5 nice dates, and then when we were planning the 6th date, that's when she found out, and she's like, oh, well, never mind. And I was like, okay, no worries. So I've almost dated 6 people, but just 5. Like I said, kind of random dates in between all those, but 5 major relationships. So yeah. But it's been a while since Fears has had a relationship. I've been looking. I really have. I've been looking for a new lady. Just haven't had any luck yet. Anyway. All right. Well, I think we're going to end it right there. But because I've been going for an hour and 12 minutes. So I hope you guys enjoyed the stream, and thank you so much for the 5 likes. Big shout out to Ichaabod and Larry and Chicken Wizard, and who else showed up? Rebecca and Pixel and the Majestical Bro. Very cool name for a YouTube channel, buddy. The Majestical Bro. Very cool. Anyway, time for some shout outs. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe to the Fears Man at FearsMan26, the main channel. Follow me on Fears Vlogs. If you get a chance, walk on over to my TikTok. The TikTokage has been going nuts. Good stuff. Follow me on TikTok. I love making like 15-second, 60-second videos. I try to be as creative as possible. Very, very short content, but good content. Check out the old TikTok. Spread the word about the TikTok and the YouTube. Subscribe to my friend Randall at Cameo Man 2021 and the Mayor of Magic. Check out my friend Ichaabod on Spotify. He makes a lot of music on there. Check out my buddy the Sega Camp Gamer and Wear Camp on Twitch. That guy is a crazy, funny, hilarious guy. Check out my buddy the Egotistical Commando on Twitch. And last but certainly not least, check out Visions. Lord Visions. www.exhumvisions.com. Buy some cool shit. Why? Because Visions makes some cool fucking products on his website. And he's a cool motherfucker. Alright. Well, Fears loves you guys. Fears cares about you guys. And I'm taking off. So, you guys have a wonderful day. Keep watching the content. Keep liking the content. Keep spreading the word about the content. And more delicious jams and jellies to come. And I've got some epic footage coming, guys. So keep watching. All right. This is Fears, signing off.